You may have heard the word Enneagram and thought, is this just another personality test? It is not. At least not when you use it well. The Enneagram is a system that describes 9 core personality patterns. But the real power is not in finding your number. The real power is in noticing the pattern you keep living from. Why you overgive, why you overthink, why you push through exhaustion, why you avoid conflict, why you keep waiting until you feel ready, why you can be capable in so many areas of life and still feel unsure about your next step. So if the word Enneagram is new to you, think of it this way. It is not a box, it's a mirror. And sometimes one honest look in the mirror can show you where your life has been running on autopilot. The Enneagram describes 9 different ways people tend to see the world, protect themselves, relate to others, and make decisions. Each type has strengths. Each type has blind spots. Each type has a way of trying to feel safe, loved, useful, respected, or in control. But the Enneagram is not only asking, what do you do? It asks a deeper question. Why do you keep doing it? That's where the growth begins. Because you may think the problem is your schedule or your confidence or your lack of motivation or your difficulty making decisions, but underneath that, there may be a pattern that once helped you survive, a pattern that helped you be responsible, needed, successful, agreeable, independent, strong, or safe. But now, that same pattern may be making this season harder than it needs to be. And this is especially important for women in midlife, because by the time you reach your late 30s, 40s, or 50s, you have not just built a personality, you have built a life around responsibility. You may have raised children, paused your career, changed countries, cared for family, supported a partner, lost someone, started over, held everything together when there was no space to fall apart. Pew Research Center found that 54% of Americans in their 40s have both an aging parent and a child are raising or financially supporting. That's a lot of emotional, practical, and invisible labor sitting on one season of life. And the American Psychological Association has reported that women continue to report higher stress level than men, and often say they could have used more support. So when we talk about self-development, we are not talking about fixing yourself. You are not broken. You may simply be tired from living through patterns that once protect you, but now needed to be updated. The Enneagram does not just show up in your journal. It shows up in your actual day. It shows up in how you rest, how you work, how you care for your body, how you create, how you handle conflict, how you ask for help, how you making decisions, how you begin again. A type 1 may turn growth into perfection. A type 2 may care for everyone and forget herself. A type 3 may measure worth through achievement. A type 4 may wait until life feels meaningful before taking action. A type 5 may gather information but struggle to move. A type 6 may wait for certainty before trusting herself. A type 7 may chase new possibilities to avoid discomfort. A type 8 may push through vulnerability and call it strength. A type 9 may keep the peace by disappearing from her own life. None of these patterns make you wrong. They are not flaws. They are survival strategies. But the question is this pattern still serving the woman you are becoming? Let's make this practical. Your Enneagram type can shape how you approach wellness and self-care, because self-care is not the same of every woman. For one woman, self-care is finally resting without guilt. For another, it is saying no. For another, it's taking a walk before the anxiety takes over. For another, it is eating lunch before she takes care for everyone else. For another, it's booking the appointment she has been avoiding. For another, it is letting herself be supported. So instead of asking, what self-care routine should I follow? Ask a better question. What part of me do I keep abandoning? Do you abandon your body, your feeling, your limits, your voice, your rest, creativity, your own desire? The Enneagram also shows up in your work rhythm, especially if you are returning to work, changing careers, building something new, or asking, what now? Type 1 may think, I should have figured this out sooner. Type 2 may think, is it selfish to focus on myself now? Type 3 may think, what if I am not impressive anymore? Type 4 may think, what if I miss my chance? Type 5 may think, I need to know more before I begin. Type 6 may think, what if I choose wrong? Type 7 may think, maybe I need a completely different life. Type 8 may think, I should be able to handle this alone. Type 9 may think, maybe it's easier not to disturb anything. But starting again does not mean starting from nothing. You are starting with experience. You are starting with wisdom. You are starting with emotional intelligence. You are starting with skills you may not have named yet. Confidence in this season may not feel loud. It may look like updating one paragraph of your resume, sending one email, booking one conversation, taking one class, choosing one private experiment, saying, I need time to think. Letting yourself be new at something without using that as a proof that you are behind. That's confidence too. The Enneagram can also help you understand your creativity. And I do not mean creativity only as painting, writing, singing, or making something beautiful. Creativity is how you solve problems, how you rebuild after change, how you imagine a new chapter, how you make meaning from what you have lived, how you let yourself want something again. But your pattern may block your creativity before you even begin. Perfection may say, do it right or do not do it. Overgiving may say, everyone else comes first. Fear may say, what if this goes wrong? Comparison may say, other people are better. Exhaustion may say, there is nothing left for me. Avoidance may say, maybe later. So the question is not, am I creative? The better question is, what does my pattern do right before I create? Does it criticize? Does it compare? Does it hide? Does it over-prepare? Does it distract? Does it make everyone else more important? When you can see the pattern, you can stop treating it as the truth. One of the most useful parts of the Enneagram is that it helps you notice whether you are living mostly from your head, your heart, or your body. Some women think everything through. Some women feel everything deeply. Some women carry everything in their body and instincts. But real self-development asks us to bring all three back into conversation. Your head asks, what is true? Your heart asks, what matters? Your body asks, what do I know right now? So if you are overthinking, come back to the body, take the walk, drink the water, do the stretch. If you are emotionally overwhelmed, come back to stillness. Name what you feel. Then name one next step. If you are pushing through, come back to your heart. Ask, what am I refusing to feel because I am trying to stay strong? This is how the Enneagram becomes more than information. It becomes a practice. Here's a simple practice you can use this week. Notice, name, nurture, next step. First, notice the pattern without shaming yourself. For example, I say yes before checking my capacity. I criticize myself before I begin. I research instead of acting. I stay quiet to avoid conflict. I keep busy so I do not have to feel uncertain. Second, name what the pattern is protecting. Is it protecting you from rejection, failure, judgment, disappointment, conflict, being seen? Then third, nurture the healthier version of you. Does she need rest, structure, support, a boundary, movement, quiet, a trusted conversation, a private place to begin? And fourth, choose one next step. Not a dramatic reinvention. One step. Write the list, send the message, take the walk, book the appointment, set the timer for 20 minutes, say no once, ask for help once, choose one idea to test privately. Growth becomes real when it enters your actual day. The Enneagram is not asking you to become someone else. It is helping you become less trapped by the version of you that had to survive. So today ask yourself, where does my pattern show up most clearly right now? In my wellness, my work, my creativity, my confidence, my self-care? And what is one small place where I am ready to stop living on autopilot? Not because I am broken, not because I am behind, but because I am allowed to meet this season with more awareness. The Enneagram is not a label. It is a mirror, and sometimes one honest look is enough to help you take the next right step. Light your path, keep moving forward. If this helps you see yourself with more compassion, subscribe for more videos on clarity, confidence, life transition, and starting again. And in the comment, write one sentence. My pattern shows up when that may be the first place your next step begins.